and welcome to The View from the EBRD. My name is Stefanie Linhardt and I'm here with Jonathan Charles, the EBRD's Communications Director. Now, Jonathan, this year's event at the EBRD has Investing for Change as a theme. What exactly does this stand for?
Well, Investing for Change, Stephanie, is exactly what we do. We invest in the countries as part of helping them to change their economies, to become better economies. And what we're particularly saying at this annual meeting is we'd like the private sector to do even more alongside us with that. And we're encouraging them to come into the more than 30 countries that we help to invest, because when the private sector invests, it does spur change in economies. They can make those economies better, and we can structure projects that actually help those economies improve.
Now, how does this differ from the last few years, the themes that we had then?
I think we're always honing the way that we approach these things, but there's a particular emphasis here because our shareholders, we're owned by more than 60 countries, they're going to decide today and over the next few days that what they want is for us to focus on re-energizing transition in many of our countries of operations. What we saw was a big private sector improvement, reform boost in the 1990s, and then that slacked off a bit, and we want to get back to reform and to re-energize the transition process in these countries. And we will be focusing our investment in three areas. We want to make economies more resilient. We want to help these economies integrate into the global and international regional trade markets. And we also want to help them combat global challenges like climate change, for example.
Have you already committed any specific projects in that respect?
Well, I mean, we're doing a lot of projects all the time. If I could give an example from here in Georgia, for example, we have helped with the renovation of the Engaduri Dam. It is an old Soviet-era dam. It provides about 40% of Georgia's electricity. Now, that's very important for the private sector, even though it's a public sector project, because without that, the private sector, without electricity that the private sector companies need, they can't really thrive. Or to give you another example, there's a great company called Emberwood, which works in a number of our countries of operations and has factories in a number of countries, including here in Georgia. They're making furniture. Now, you know, they are flat pack furniture designers and other types of furniture designers. They are providing for a local market which otherwise wouldn't have that. So they're boosting consumer choice, but also they're becoming manufacturers, good manufacturers. And we want to encourage more manufacturers in our countries of operations, because there are many positive points about these countries, Georgia and other countries. Labor is very flexible, labor is quite skilled, and this will encourage that. The more private sector business there is, the more economies grow, and of course the more they can change to become stronger, more resilient economies.
Jonathan Charles, Communications Director at the EBRD, thank you very much.